Hello. Hi. This video is going to be really rough, just in the literal editing and production quality side of things. I'm not against high quality content by any stretch, but I feel like this isn't really the topic. You might get a star wipe if you're lucky. So I've got my script off the screen here. I'm looking at it right now, and obviously you're here. So if you see me looking like this, I'm either thinking about what to say or just reading from the script. Yeah, here goes. So, hi, I'm Matt. Full disclosure, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a guru. I'm just someone whose brain has tried to stage a coup like one too many times. And I just got tired of pretending that everything was fine. You know, the whole grin and bear it thing. Yeah, it's just not working for me anymore. Right now I'm at a bit of a loose end in terms of my professional life. I'm just trying to be more constructive with my time, and I'm sure that I will go into it in more detail in the future. But right now I'm just trying to be as constructive and productive as possible. In terms of me, of who I am, I like to think that I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. I'm always keen to have a laugh and enjoy my time with people, or make sure people are having a good time. And I do try my best by the people who do their best for me. If I feel like people are making an effort for me, I'm more than going to reciprocate. I want to repay that love, I guess. I want to pay it back in tenfold. I told you I'm not going to edit this. Hobby-wise, I'm big into Warhammer. At this point, Warhammer isn't some kind of unknown quantity. Back when I first started playing it, it was very much what the hell is this? You're a nerd. That's embarrassing sort of things. But it has, as of late, exploded in popularity, which is great. A lot of people finding fun out of it, and that's not a bad thing by any stretch. And yeah, I play it, I paint it, I do engross myself in it, and I'm even running a tournament event by myself. The first event is on the 28th of June, and it's sold out, which is equal parts exciting and terrifying. Thankfully, the 20 people that are going are all people that I know, and they know me. So it's going to be good because it's with good people. So it's more exciting than terrifying, but it's still terrifying. Yeah. So, mental health. The whole reason why I'm doing this video series, it may just be this one, we'll see. But the whole reason why I'm doing it is because I want to try and talk about how I'm feeling. It's part diary for me, just to see, hopefully, the progress I'm going to be making. But in terms of my mental health, it's like this slow rumble of negativity that's always in the back of my head. At worst, not at best, sorry, it's at the back of my head. But it's constantly there, it's unshakable, it's just like I say, it's like a rumble, it's just like distant thunder. And for me, it flickers between anxiety, where it's just like, this is the worst, you're the worst, why are you like this? I'm extremely self-critical. To apathy, and it's like flipping a switch where at worst I am extremely critical of myself, and at best it's just like yeah, which I guess is more me almost admitting defeat about it, like, yeah, you deserve this and I'm not gonna fight it. And it's just exhausting. And I think that's probably the best way to describe it overall, is just exhausting. Just constantly, I'm not even fighting it anymore, it's just constantly hearing this negativity and this self-doubt. Yeah, exhausting. So, when did it start? And I'm gonna have to refer to my script. And next episode, I'll have the script behind the camera, so it looks like I'm looking at you. But at the moment, it's yeah. If you asked me when all this began, I'd probably lie to you. Not because I'm intentionally trying to lie. And it's because I don't really know. It didn't just happen one day. I didn't just wake up one day and felt like this. It was something that just built and crept in, and yeah, built and built and built, and you know, I'm happy to be self-critical. Me not challenging the criticizing thoughts probably just expounded on it. Expanded. I'm seeing a therapist now. It's through Mind. Jess, my counsellor, is lovely, but I'm hoping that she's going to help me dig into how and why this happened. But for the life of me, I can't find the moment. But I couldn't even say there was a defining moment. I do remember being a teenager when my mum first mentioned that I might be depressed. And like a true teen, I just ignored her. What do mums know, right? Before I had a mental, what's it called? I just cracked at the beginning of this year, 2025. It was in January. And that's when I started to properly try to address it all. But for years, I've always been pretty open about I've struggled with my mental health and whatnot. And I've always described it as like a light version of bipolar. And that's not to say, and I do feel some guilt in describing it as that, because I don't want to be seen or I don't want to be making light of how difficult bipolar could be, Just because I'm having the sads one day doesn't mean I'm bipolar, because that's not fair on the people who actually are struggling much worse than what I'm feeling with. But the reason why I described it as like a light version of bipolar is that I had fairly consistent downswings. I was able to recognize when I was approaching these downturns and like insulate and protect myself to get through these 2 to 3 week periods. But I never really had the manic phases. I was either okay or shit. And the shit periods just got longer and longer and longer. And that came to a head back in the beginning of this year when I was on the phone to my GP, because I recognised I was struggling with these longer and long periods. And I was on the phone in the middle of the car park outside of work, and I was just crying. And I'm an ugly crier. And in the best kind of way, this is all like snowballed, and I'm here now. And yeah. So, like looking back, I ignored a lot. I have a terrible habit of self-doubt and and I tried my best to weaponize it in work to make me more honest in terms of my output, and to make me double check and recheck to try and be more accurate. But I think that was at best papering over the cracks, and it didn't really work. So why now? Well, there's a guess who has to do an edit, because for some reason my phone stopped recording when I was mid-topic, and I didn't realise. Alright, so why now? Mainly because, as well-meaning and as supportive as friends have been for me, and I hope that, well, I know other people have the same level of support. Obviously not everyone, unfortunately, but it's trying to help people understand more, but again, it's not right in our face. I'm just trying to talk about me, and I'm doing this now because I'm trying to be more constructive with my time. But then I see a lot of people wanting to help and wanting to provide support, and then they don't know how best to approach it themselves, because thankfully for them, this experience is entirely alien. So I'm trying to just do my bit to further the conversation and make it less taboo. Not that it is taboo. It certainly has come a long way. But here we are. I remember there being a campaign a while back called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay," and that always kind of riled me up the wrong way. Maybe because it's not okay that you're not okay, but I understand that my understanding of that whole campaign was more about trying to encourage people to not keep it to themselves and to help people not feel shamed for how they're feeling. But it's just one of those things that has always stuck in my head, and I can't stress this enough for people who might want to hear it, that if you're not okay, then that sucks. Asterisk, let's do something about it. Yeah. What happens in terms of friends trying to be supportive? So, like I said before, I'm fortunate to have people want me to be okay. In the very rare opportunities where I make a post on Facebook talking about my mental health, I then get inundated by people showing their sympathy and their support and their love for me, and it's great, and I'm extremely grateful for them. But that makes me sound like such a conceited little twit. I saw another Facebook post the other day, and I'm not a boomer, I promise, but basically saying that when people are struggling, it resonated with me because it was me. When people are struggling with their mental health, they're not going to come out and talk to you. So when you see someone saying, something dark and worrying that makes you want to reach out to them, saying, "Oh, my kettle's always on, just come round," as nice and as well-meaning as it is, I'm not gonna come round. I already feel like I'm too much of a burden, and I'm too much of a burden. I'm not going to impose. I'm tired of trying in my good days to do things and keep myself occupied, mainly out of fear for when things get dark. And I feel like with all friends, that if I don't reach out first, I'm not thought about. And I don't really know how to address it or talk about it or say much more about it. It's just I'm always the one trying to do things and that involve me. Obviously people have plenty of stuff to do themselves and people are busy, and I get that. But I genuinely think that if I didn't touch my phone for a week, I wouldn't have any missed calls, I wouldn't have any texts, nobody would notice. Which is not true, to a degree, because I have lots who, is tremendous and supportive and everything I could have hoped for in some way for this difficult period, but Loz has a wonderful core of friends that constantly keep in touch with each other, constantly do things with each other, and not necessarily as the group of 5 of them all together or nothing at all. She'll go spend time with Laura, or she'll go spend time with Christy, and yeah, I'm not going to name all of them. Oh, I feel bad now, but there's always, she always has that outlet, and it's a mutual thing where they all try and spend time with each other, and they all try and make efforts for each other. And I don't have that, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm incredibly happy for her that she has that. But I don't know what I can do to get that. One of the things I'm going to do with this series is that I'm going to be very honest, and I'm going to be very honest. I basically, I don't want there to be any sort of misgivings. I want to be seen as trying to be as clear and about it all. So this topic is called "Here's Something I've Never Said Out Loud Before," and when was it? It was not that long ago, and I'm on my computer so I can see for myself. So on it doesn't time. Okay, it doesn't have time. It doesn't have timestamps. That's really cool. Not that long ago, and it really wasn't that long ago. I literally asked ChatGPT, which is kind of sad in its own admission, but this is verbatim. I'm having existential dread creeping in, often thinking about what the point it all is. And only this morning I finally looked into overdosing. Out of morbid curiosity, not actually intent. Is this suicidal, or am I just being self-indulgent? So even when I'm trying to unalive myself, I'm being critical, so that's fun. Yeah, looking at it now, it's a very surreal sentence for me to have typed out. I've always admitted that I have existential thoughts. It's never explicit. It's never I'm going to do X. But it's always very much a case of what's the point? I'm trying and nothing's working. What's the point? And that's not necessarily specific to my mental health, but it's definitely not helping. Yeah. I think the worst part of it was that it felt normal. I didn't want to die, and I don't. But I just wanted everything to just stop for a bit. Like I said, I'm just so exhausted. I just wanted to have a break. And if you've ever typed that sort of thing into Google, and I really hope that you've found your support, because to touch on the previous section, it sucks, and I'm sorry. Okay, so the next section, one thing I'm proud of, even if it's small. No notes. This is something that I'm working on, trying to recognize small wins, and it's something that I have been aware of, to do something like that. And Jess has encouraged it too. But right now, I'm out of work. I got made redundant, and I've been trying to find work for the past 5 weeks. And I tell you what, constant rejections is doing a number on my mental health. So that's helping. It's a blessing and a curse. The curse is obviously the rejections is just piling it on like an unfair wrestling, like a 2v1. But it's a blessing because I get to focus on doing other things. Not obviously looking for work is priority number one. I am very aware that we're eating into what little savings that we have, and we're getting married in September, and we're dipping into the wedding fund, so it's an extra pressure as well. But yeah, I guess something to be proud of is that I am still trying. I'm like, what's really frustrating, this is not nothing to do with mental health necessarily, but it's really difficult to get an interview. Just full stop. I've always been pretty confident with my interviewing skills, but now I'm even getting rejections from them. And I had 2 rejections today, for instance. One was because they basically did a shuffle internally and decided that they didn't need an extra person to help the job work or the job load, whatever. So yeah, fine, but okay, fine. And then the second one was where they decided to hire internally, but the interviewer had nothing but positive and nice things to say about how I interviewed and how I answered all the questions, and all of these great things that wouldn't be necessarily a problem if I wasn't desperate for work. And 5 weeks in, and here we are. Yay. So, like I said, this is going to be a mini series. I'm not sure how often I'll do it, or if I get around to do it, when I find work, and it is a case of when, not if. I don't know how much spare time I'll have to continue this, but I obviously want to keep doing it if I can. I just wanted to say that if you do need the support, there are numerous networks available. I use Mind. I'll leave that information in the description, that's what it's called, of the video. But there's loads of things, like I say loads, not that I can list them all off right here, right now. I know there's Calm, Campaign Against Living Miserably. I haven't used it, but I know about that it exists. There's the Andy's Mans Club, which is male specific. I tried it, it's not for me, but it's a resource that's available for people. And yeah, there are resources, and I hope you use it if you need it. And I'll see you in the next video.